Hello friends, welcome back to automationtestinginsider.com. So this is the sixth video of TestNG framework series, and today we are going to discuss about parallel testing in TestNG. So let's understand what is a thread or what is multi-threading programming. So Java provides built-in support for multi-threaded programming. A multi-threaded program contains two or more parts that can run concurrently. Okay, and each part of such program is called a thread, and each thread defines a separate path of execution. So let me give you an example. So in Selenium context, let me give you an example. So suppose you have 100 test cases in your script in your project. Okay, and you want to run those 100 test cases on Chrome browser as well as Firefox browser. So if you run your test cases sequentially, then it will take a lot of time, right? First, if you run on Chrome browser and later on Firefox browser, definitely it will take a lot of time. So what you'll do, you'll apply parallel testing, and this is the path of execution of Chrome browser, and there would be separate path of execution of Firefox browser. So we can say this is thread 1 and this is thread 2. This is just an example. Okay, so here we have written like each part of such program is called a thread, and each thread defines a separate path of execution. So there would be separate path of execution for this Chrome test, and would be separate path of execution of Firefox browser. Okay, Firefox test. And this is the definition of parallel testing. So parallelism or multi-threading in software terms is defined as the ability of the software operating system or program to execute multiple parts or subcomponents of another program simultaneously. Okay, so what are the different benefits of having parallel testing? So it reduces execution time, so as we have discussed in the example. Okay, so if you run concurrently two test cases, two threads, definitely it will reduce the time. Okay, so as tests are executed in parallel, multiple tests get executed simultaneously, hence reducing the overall time taken to execute the test cases. Okay, and the second one is allows multi-threaded test. Okay, so it will allow us to verify multi-threading programming concept in our script. Okay, and what are the different situations? Because of that, we are going to use we are going to use parallel testing. Okay, so there are situations where you want to run multiple tests at the same time. Okay, so let's discuss situation 1. If you have 100 test cases and running these 100 test cases sequentially will take you magnitudes of time longer, because you can only execute one test at a time. Okay, and yeah, I have given that example earlier for cross browser testing. So another situation would be cross browser testing. If there are more number of scripts to be executed, and executing them on each and every browser sequentially is time consuming. So these are the two situations. One is if you have multiple test cases like 100 test cases or more than that in your project. Okay, and running these 100 test cases or 1000 test cases sequentially will take definitely a lot of time. So you can run them parallelly to reduce the execution time. Okay, another thing is cross browser testing, which we have discussed earlier. So the above situations can be avoided using a concept in Selenium called parallel execution. Okay, so we can reduce the execution time as tests are executed simultaneously in different threads. So in TestNG we can achieve parallel execution by two ways. So what are those two ways? So with testng.xml file, and there is an attribute called parallel attribute of switch tag. So in switch tag we can provide parallel attribute. Okay, so this is the syntax of parallel attribute. Parallel is equal to methods. Okay, so the parallel attribute of switch tag can accept four values. So we have methods, classes, test instances. Okay, so we can run our methods parallelly if we provide methods, we can run classes parallelly, test parallelly, and instances parallelly. Okay. And the second method is we can configure an independent test method to run in multiple threads. So we'll discuss, I'll give you demo of these two ways. Okay. So this is simple XML with a parallel attribute. Here you can see inside suite tag, this is the name of suite, and this is parallel. Here we have given methods. So whatever method are available inside this class, okay, this is my class name, class B, inside this package. So this is package name, and this is class. So whatever methods are there inside this class B will be will run parallelly. Okay, if you provide parallel is equal to methods. Now let's understand with the help of program. So Eclipse is already open here. So here I'll create new project, Java project. So I'll give name parallel testing demo. I'll click on finish. I need to add a configure build path. So we have to add library, testng library. Click on finish, apply, and apply and close. Second, we have to configure build path for external jars, Selenium Java jar files. So just add them in your script, in your project. Apply, apply and close. Okay. And here I'll create a new package, com dot parallel demo, parallel demo. Click on finish. Here I'll create a new class, let's say class A, and inside this class let me have one method, public void, let's say test case 1, and here simply I'll give print statement. This is test case 1. Okay. And I'll provide @ annotation here. And let's have another method in the same class. I'll give name test case 2, and here as well test case 2. Okay. So I have created a class A. Inside that I have two test methods, test case 1 and test case 2. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll create testng XML file. First let's see this one, example of having methods. We'll run our test cases parallelly. We'll execute methods parallelly. Okay, so how to do that? So simply right click on this class, and in the last video we have seen how to convert into testng.xml. So if you right click, here we have an option testng and convert to testng. So here the location will come. So this is our project location, and testng.xml. So testng, here I'll give testng method. So we'll understand we are going to run parallelly by methods. Okay. And this is suite name, test name, and here we have class selections. So you can select packages here or classes. Okay, let it be like classes. And parallel mode, so here if you select methods, so here it will come by default inside suite tag parallel. Okay, it's equal to methods. If you select classes, so classes will come and test will come. So let me just select methods. and here you can give thread count as well. So for now we are not giving thread count. Okay, we'll add that manually. So let me just click on finish. So here you can see one testng XML is created. Now what I'll do, inside this one we don't need thread count inside test tag, so simply I'll remove all these. And here we have in switch tag we have parallel is equal to methods. Okay, and this is our test name. So this is simple XML file, so I can run this. Okay, so let me just run this, run as testng suite. Here we go. So we have two test cases, okay, two methods, and these are the we have given some print statement. But how to understand whether they are running parallelly or not? Okay, so what we can do, here we can give in thread class we have current thread method. Inside that we have get id. So will get the id of the thread. Okay, and similarly we'll give that command over here as well, current thread dot get. You have different methods, so you can get the name of the thread using get name method. Okay, for now let's say get id. Now let's rerun this again. So here we go. So since I have not written any scripts, Selenium scripts inside, so this is the id of the thread 11 and 12. So you can see these two are running parallelly in different threads, so 11 and 12. Another thing what you can do is here you can give thread count as well, thread count. So number of threads you want to execute, you can give like 2. Okay, so 1 second, what is, okay, we have to give in double quotes, double quotation. Okay, and it will give you the same results. Here you can see. Now how do you understand whether they are running even it gives IDs, okay, 11 and 12, but we need to understand whether they are running parallelly or not. So what I'll do, I'll add some Selenium scripts inside this. So in previous class we have some Selenium script, so let me just copy paste side. So simply I'll copy few lines of code from previous class to launch the browser. Let's remove this one, and yeah, no need of this one as well. And here we have to declare our web driver. And let me give my blog URL here, this link, and simply I'll copy a few these lines of code in the next method as well, second method. Okay, and we'll understand whether it is running parallelly or not. And instead of automation testing insider, I'll give another URL, this orange HRM URL I'll give in the next method. Okay, now my tests are ready, two test cases. Okay, and let me just run this parallelly. Where we have parallel testing demo. This is our testng xml. So run as a testng suite. So you can see two browsers appeared simultaneously. Okay, so let it run, and once it is done I'll show you. So here you can see parallelly two browser are open. Okay, in one browser automation testing insider.com URL navigated, and another one is orange HRM application opened. Okay, so this is how you can do parallel testing by methods. And what is next? So let's have a look classes wise. So what I'll do, I'll create some more classes inside this. So let's say class B, finish, and I'll do class C. Okay, so we have two more classes, class B and class C, and inside that let's have some methods. So I'll copy these lines of code. I have one method and we have to give, let's say this is test case, let it be like test case 1 only. And in class, so this is class B, I'll copy this and I'll paste it inside class C. Okay, and I'll give method 2 here, method 2. So what I have done, I have created two more classes, class B and C. So here we have one method, test case 1, and inside class C we have another method, test case 2. So let's run these two classes parallelly. So how to do that? Just select these two classes and right click. We have testng, convert to testng. So here you can see this default XML is showing here, right? So class name you can see com.paralleldemo.class C. Now here what we can do, I'll just change the name. This is uh, classes wise. Okay, and parallel mode I'll give classes here. Okay, and yeah, so click on finish. Another XML is getting created. So here we got one more XML, testng classes.xml. These are two, these are my classes, and what I'll do, I'll remove thread count from test. These are not required for now, and inside suite tag we can give, okay, parallel is equal to classes. So thread count is optional, by default it will take. Okay, if you want to specify you can give thread count, let's say you want through two threads. Okay, now it is done. Let me run this. Here we go, we have two methods inside these two classes, class C, class B and C, right? Class B and C, we have two one method in each class. Okay, so here we go, these are the IDs of threads. Okay, and if you can see here, here we have, this is class B and this is class C. So these two are running parallelly, these two classes. If you want to add more tests here, you can add this. Let's see, let's say this is 1 second, let's add here first. This is test case 2, and inside class C this is 3, and let's say this is fourth test case. sorry, this is third, test case 3. So we have 4 test cases, in class B 2 test cases, and class C 2 more test cases. Let me rerun this again. So 4 test cases will be seen here. Okay, in console you can see. So there are 2 threads only we have seen. So these are the 2 threads, 11 and 12. Okay, 4 test cases, 4 pass, failure 0, skip 0. This is how you can run parallelly using parallel is equal to classes. Okay, now what is next? Using test. Okay, now what I'll do, let's create one more class, and I'll give, or let's do one thing. So we have 2 classes B and C, right? And simply I'll copy this one classes wise and put it over here and paste it. Instead of classes I'll give test. Now we have another XML, and instead of classes here, parallel is equal to classes, I'll give test here. Okay, and what I'll do, inside suite tag will have 2 more test. Okay, couple of test suites. So what I'll do, simply I'll copy, this is my test 1 and this is test 2, and let's have one class in each test, class C in this test and class B in this one, the first test. Okay, so this is using parallel is equal to test, thread count 2, and here I have given test 1 and test 2. So let me run this. Some error occurred. Yeah, 2 tests in the same suite cannot have the name test. Okay, so I forgot to change the name. So you cannot have the same name, same test name inside a suite. Okay, so you have to give the name. This is test 1 and let's say this is test 2. Okay, and I'll run it parallelly. What is giving, how many methods we have? 4, but here it is showing 2 only. Let me rerun this. Yeah, here we go. So now tests are running parallelly. So there are 2 threads, 11 and 12, and 4 test cases, 4 passed. And if you see the reports, test ng output, label report. So here we go. We have 2 tests, test 1 and test 2, 4 test cases. Okay, and these are the test method inside C class and class B. Okay, test 1 and test 2, test 3 and test 4. So using this one we can run our test cases parallelly. So parallel is equal to test. Okay, and what is next? The last one is instances. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll create a simple one more class, let's say class D, and inside D let's have test method public void test case 1, and simply I'll copy this print statement, and let's say this is test case 1. Okay, So suppose let me give you an example of this instances in this XML only, in classes only. Okay, so you have two classes, and instead of classes I'll give what I'll do, let's use class D only. Okay, better to use class D. So I'll use another test case, test case 2, and here test case 2, and simply I'll create XML for this class D, testng, convert to testng, and let it be like this, and here I'll give name instances. So using instances, what you can do, first let's delete this thread count, and here parallel is equal to, you can give instances, and let's say thread count is equal to 2, and let me run this instances. Okay, let's see what will happen. So we have two methods inside class D, those are running in different threads 11 and 12. So now using these instances, what you can do is, inside this test you can define one attribute called group by instances, and you can give value here true. Group by instances, right, group by instances is equal to true. Okay, now let's see what will happen. So here you can see, so the moment when I have given this group by instances is equal to true, it is running in same thread. Here you can see 11 11, right, even though we have given thread count is equal to 2. So here we have given one attribute called group by instances. So suppose you want to execute your test cases in same thread, then you can give, in same instance you can give group by instances is equal to true. Okay, and you can execute your test cases in, though you have different thread counts, okay, different threaded, though you have different threads, but if you want to execute in same instance, then you can give parallel is equal to instances, and here you can give group by instances equal to true. So this is how it will work. And what is next, we can configure an independent test method to run in multiple threads. Okay, so how to do that? So suppose you have separate test method, let's create one more class D, where D is already there, E, and click on finish. So suppose here we have one method public void test method 1, and yeah, copy this command from here. Okay, and suppose you want to run, so there are two ways to run parallel testing in testng, right? So one with test using XML file, testng.xml. We have seen different attributes using, I mean, different values using methods, classes, test, and instances. Now this is the second way. We can configure an independent test method to run in multiple threads. So what you can do is, suppose you want to run this test method in uh, in, in parallel way. Okay, so how to do that? here we have different attributes. So here we have thread pool size, so let's say 3. So number of threads is 3, and comma is not required. And another thing is invocation count. Invocation count, why it is not coming? One second, here we have to give double quote 3, and invocation count, why it is not coming? I think we need comma. Yeah, invocation count, let's say we want 3 times. Okay, and there is another attribute called timeout, so you can define like 1000. So using this time it will execute, so double quote is not required here. Yeah, so 1000 milliseconds. Okay, and within that time it should execute the test cases. So let me run this, run as testng test. So you can see here 3 test cases passed. Okay, here we go, 1, 11, 12 and 13. So these are the threads. So for particular method you can define the thread size, like thread pool size 3 threads, and invocation count. Suppose you want to run your test case 3 times, so this method is running in 3 different threads, 11, 12 and 13. And let's say suppose you have thread pool size is 2 only, and suppose you want to execute 3 times your test case to be run. Okay, so what you'll do, run as test. We'll see what happens. Okay, so here you can see this thread number 12 is distributed among I mean this test case running on this thread 12, and there is a separate test case, I mean this test case is running separately on this thread 11. Okay, so since we have only 2 threads, right, 12, 11 and 12, so this is how it runs. Here you can see test method 1 1 1. Okay, so we run it 3 times. So this is how we can do parallel testing using testng. So if you have any doubts guys, please give your comments, and in the next video we'll talk about cross browser testing in testng. So please like this video and subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get the notification for upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.